Grade 4, our lesson 2, weaving a circular mat using the twining technique, which is under basketry. Now, weaving a circular mat. Mats are very important. They can be used. You can use them to place a cup, a teacup on our tables. And also there are those mats which you put them at the doorstep for wiping, mat, especially when it is wet. Now, in weaving, you interlace the weft and the warp. In weaving, you use two types of threads, the weft and the warp. The warp are the threads that form the framework, or rather the base of a woven item. The weft are the threads which go over and under the warp. See that diagram. And again, it is in your pupils book, page 47, figure 2.2. Now, when you look at my diagram there, you can see the warps. The warps are those ones, and they are the ones which form the framework. Remember that. And then the weft, they go over. There are two. It goes over and under, as you can see there, and also in your book. Then in twining technique, the warp and the two sets of wefts are used. The wefts are twined around the warp as shown above. Now let's go and see how to make a circular mat using twining technique. Remember, there are two types of threads, the weft and the warps. The warp form the framework, and then the wefts, they are the ones which go over and under the warp. Now, let's see what you need to make this circular mat. 1. You need flexible fibers, e.g. banana fibers, palm leaves, sisal. And again, this one will depend with the area you live. If you are in Kino, somebody else in Machakos, you cannot get the same materials. Number 2, you need a knife or a blade. A blade is something that you can cut for cutting, slicing those materials into your right size. Let's now go to the procedure, or rather the method. How do you go about it after you have collected your materials and you have prepared your materials? How do you start? 1. Cut the warp to the required size. Yes, now this is how you go about it. Now, this is where you start. You cut the warp threads to the required size. Then number 2, set the warp in a star shape as shown page 49. You know, the warp should look like a star. You know, when you look at them, the way they are, it's like they are forming a star, a twinkling star, the way they look like. Just look at that picture, figure 2.2, and also figure 49, pupils book. Then pick the weft and start twining. Twining ni kupitisha yu na chini. Yu unapitisha yu ya warp, warp ile ingine unapitisha chini. So pick the weft and start twining around the warp as shown on page 47. Then from there, continue weaving until you achieve the size you require. Until you get the size of your mat. It will depend what kind of mat, which size of mat you want. Then now, once you have finished, you have gotten your right size of mat, then there's something we call finishing and neatening the edges of a woven circular mat. You cannot leave the edges, same za mwisho ya hiyo mati yako. You cannot leave them just like that. It will get torn. Zile kamba zitatoka haraka. So what are you supposed to do? 1, to make the mat neat and prevent the weft and the warp from coming off, you need to finish the edges neatly. And this can be done by 1, stitching. Unashona. You use a needle and a thread. That is what you call stitching. And then number 2, binding. Now let's understand these terms. 1, stitching is done by using a thread and a needle to stitch along the edges so that the weft and the warps do not come off. Diagram are going to get you. There is a picture there in your book. Then binding is done by stitching a cloth around the edges, your circular mat. Now when you look at page 50, you'll see how that cloth is stitched around your circular mat. Those are what we call, that process is known as finishing and neatening your edges so that your circular mat does not, the end, the warps and the wefts do not come off. You can finish by stitching with a needle and thread or by binding. Boys and girls, your exercise is to copy the notes, and also I want you to start now planning your mat over this Sunday. Then we finish together. Have a good day. Take care of COVID-19.